we do with our feet hip width apart, pointing forwards like number 11, and we're just going to rock the weight forwards and backwards, just finding that core engagement, reminding ourselves that roughly 30% core engagement as we're rocking forwards and backwards. So making sure we're not gripping with the toes, try to relax the toes. Let's just do one more, so coming in forwards and then maintaining that core engagement. This time we're coming back to center. Finding neutral with the pelvis, so just really squeezing the tailbone between the legs and then rocking forwards. Backwards and forwards. Like the pelvis is a bucket of water, rocking backwards, water goes at the back, rocking forwards, water sloshes out the front. Just do a couple more, just loosen off through that lower back. And now we're going to slightly tuck the tailbone under, so if it was a bucket of water, the water would remain still in that bucket. We're going to also draw it through that pelvic floor as well, so everything feels really nice and tight around the centre. Crown of the head up towards the ceiling. So try and visualise lots of space between each vertebrae. And then we're going to bring the shoulders up, down, and back. Nice big shoulder rolls. Keep rolling those shoulders, drawing big circles with the shoulders. And then finally, we're going to just slide the shoulder blades down and back. Okay. Then we're just going to bring, I forgot to mute everybody actually. Let me just do that quickly. So then I should be on the big screen for you all. Hang on, mute all. There we go. If anyone wants to speak to me, just unmute yourselves and give me a shout. So shoulders down and back, and then we're just going to do some nice neck stretching now. So just bringing the ear down towards the shoulder, feeling that lovely stretch into the side of the neck. Try not to let the shoulders creep up, and then just rolling the head forwards, chin to chest. And over to the other side. Really bring the ear down towards the shoulder there. Let's do one more to each side. Chin to chest. And over. And last one. Keeping that tailbone tucked under, keeping that core nicely engaged as well. We're going to bring it back to center, so just bringing the chin back to the chest. We're going to take it into our roll down now. So just bring the shoulders forwards, keep the tailbone tucked under for as long as we can. We're going to roll the spine down. So really working that C shape as we roll down. Just let the arms dangle, let the head and neck relax. Keep the knees nice and soft. You should feel a really nice pull there into the belly of the hamstring. Take a couple of focused breaths. Just nod the head yes as well here. Shake the head no. To really try and switch off the neck muscles. We're going to bring the hands now to behind the head. So just interlink the fingers and just pressing down on the head, getting a bit more out of that stretch. Couple of focused breaths. And then just relaxing the arms down. Take an inhale breath as we exhale. We're going to scoop up through the tummy, lifting up through the pelvic floor as we really push up into the spine. Rolling back up, rolling back out. And then at the top, resetting those shoulders down and back. Let's go down one more time. So take an inhale breath as we prepare. Exhale, start to bring the chin towards the chest. Bring the shoulders in. Just let the arms dangle. Again, keeping the legs straight but the knees soft, so don't lock the knees out. And then come all the way down. If you get to the floor, great. If you can't, don't worry, just put your hands on the legs. We're then going to lock the knees out. So just straighten out through the legs and then bending through the right leg as much as you can, leaving that left knee locked. We're going to then bring the right hand over to the outside of the left ankle and then reach up towards the ceiling with the left hand. So just bringing the left arm level with the shoulder, not beyond. And then bringing the hand all the way back down to the floor again. We're going to do the same on the other side, so straighten out through the right leg, bending through the left knee as much as you can, leaving that right leg locked. Left hand comes over to the outside of the right ankle, and we're just going to reach up towards the ceiling with that right arm. Keeping the gaze to that top hand as well, so the neck follows the spine. And then bring the arm back down. And then softening through both knees. Take an inhale breath as we exhale, scooping up through the tummy, rolling the spine back up and back out. And then when we reach the top again, nice big shoulder roll. Roll those shoulders down and back. Then we're going to shuffle the feet out to quite a bit wider than hip width. Both toes at this point pointing forward. So we're then going to turn the right toe out and work a windmill stretch. So bringing the right hand to the inside of the thigh, palm facing out. We're going to reach up towards the ceiling with the left arm. Nice big reach. Keep the core nice and strong. As we inhale, we're just going to slide the right hand down the inside of the leg, coming down, down, down towards the ankle. And then exhale as we come back up. And then reaching it up towards the ceiling at the top. Nice big stretch there. And then inhale back down again as we slide it down into our windmill stretch. Down to the inside of the ankle or foot. Exhale as we come back up and back out. Last one. Keeping that core nice and strong there as well. So don't relax the abdominals. And exhale it up. Reach it up towards the ceiling. And then relax the arm down. Same on the other side. So right toe points forward. Left toe points out. Right arm reach up towards the ceiling. Nice big reach there. Inhale as we lower, keeping against this right hand. Ooh, quick, that was my hip, I think. And then exhale as we come back up with a little reach at the top. Let's go for 2 more. Inhaling down. And exhale back up. Last one. And exhale, slide, reaching at the top, relaxing the arm down. Then bringing the toes, shuffling the feet in a little bit. Let's just do a few squats. So again, tailbones tucked under. So feet are just a little bit wider than hip width. We're going to come down into a nice deep squat. So if we can get that tailbone roughly same level as the knees, reach it forward with the arms. As we exhale, drive it up through the heel as we come back up and back out. Slight little extension at the top, so bring those arms behind the body. Inhaling as we come down, nice and deep. Exhale, slowly coming back up, drive it through the heel. A little extension at the top, engaging through the tricep. Let's go for 2 more. Exhale it up. Arms come behind. Good work. Is that Molly doing it as well? Yay, well done, Molly. Good squatting. And back to centre. We're going to come down now onto the mat. We're going to come towards the ends of the mat and standing and tabletop down first. So feet hip width apart, tailbone tucked under, so just pop that tailbone under. Sorry, I know you can't see my head yet, but just take it up into a full body stretch. Reach the hands up towards the ceiling. Keep that core nice and strong. We're going to exhale as we fold into tabletop, pushing the weight back over the heels, lengthen through the spine here, lengthen through the arms. So framing the face with the arms. And then we're going to come down into a flop, keeping the knees nice and soft. We're going to walk it out onto all fours. So coming down, taking a few steps forward with the hands, coming down onto the knees. So the knees are underneath the hips, hands and wrists underneath the shoulders. So we're just going to find our neutral shoulder now. So what we need to do is push the floor away with the hands. So we're really parting the shoulder blades there. And then we're going to come down, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Squeeze and part. So pushing up and then coming down. Squeeze the shoulder blades. So neutral shoulder is somewhere in the middle of those 2 movements. Making sure the shoulders aren't up around the ears. So we're going to come into that midpoint, so nice and strong through the shoulder. Engaging through the core, so draw that tummy button up towards the spine. We're going to flip the toes underneath and take it into a little knee hover, just to wake up the core. Inhale, breath. As we exhale, we're going to come up off the knees, and then inhale, Gently place the knees back down to the mat. So exhale as we come up and inhale as we lower back down. Let's do 4 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Shoulders nice and strong. Exhale it up. Inhale it down. Last one. Exhale, let's hold for 3 breaths. 2, imagine we're balancing a cup of coffee on the lower back. And 1, and then bring the knees down. Have a little sit back into the heels there. Take a step forward with the hands, really lengthen out through the arms, through the spine. We're going to have a little walk around to one side with the hands. So just walking the hands round, placing one hand on top of the other, feeling that really nice stretch into the side of the body. And then walking the hands back through and over to the other side. Feeling that nice side bend stretch. And then let's walk it back to centre again. Coming back up onto all fours, so just bringing the wrists into underneath the shoulders, knees into underneath the hips. We're going to work Superman swimming tonight as our spine exercise. So we're going to slide right hand and left foot as far away from the body as we can. So fully extend and then exhale. We're going to lift and lengthen. Again, imagining we're balancing that cup of coffee on the lower back, bringing the hand and foot back down and sliding the hand and knee back in. So going with the other side now, so we slide left foot, right foot, left hand. Exhale as we lift, squeeze from the glute, balance that cup of coffee, bring it back down and slide back underneath. Let's do 1 more on each side. So slide, inhale breath, exhale as we lift and lengthen. Squeezing from the glute, lengthen through the arm. Hand and foot come back down and slide back underneath. So the hips should be staying square to the mat. Last one on this side. Exhale, we're going to lift. We're going to stay in lift here. We're going to hold, and then we're going to bring the knee and elbow. So we're connecting knee and elbow again. Keep that coffee cup stable. Reach. We're going to go for 3 more on this side. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, lengthen. Last 2. Takes a lot of concentration. Reach. Trying to keep the torso nice and still. Last one. We're going to reach, reach, reach. Lengthen through that right leg, left arm. And then we're going to take it out on the diagonal line. And then bring it back in. And lower back to the floor. And slide back to our start position. So we're going to do that the same on the other side now. So sliding right hand, left foot away. Inhale, breath. Exhale, lift. So the arm and leg are level with the body. Squeezing from the glutes. We're going to bring the elbow and knee together. And then lengthen. Let's go for 4 more. Keeping that core engaged. 1. And reach. 2. Lengthen and reach. Last 2. And last one, elbow to knee. And then lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. We're going to hold. We're going to bring it out on the diagonal line, like the line of a cross. And then bring it back to center again. Popping the hand and foot gently back down to the floor. Sliding the hand and knee back into our start position. Have a little sit back now into the heels. Take it into shell. So we're going to bring the arms down by the side, now next to the feet. Palms facing up and bring that forehead down onto the floor. Just get a nice stretch into the spine. Relax the back muscles. And a couple of focused breaths there as well. And then we're going to come up into seated and start with some roll down exercises. So coming up onto the sit bones, we're going to bring the feet hip width apart, so the heels are in line with the hips. We're going to bring the arms out level with the shoulders, so nice and tall through the spine there. Take an inhale breath here, and as we exhale, just tilt the pelvis, get the spine into that nice C curve, and we're going to come all the way down, one vertebrae at a time, so feel the spine touching the floor. So basically we're going to be doing some very slow controlled sit-ups. Bring the arms behind the head, try not to let the ribs pop out at this point, and then exhale, we're going to come back up. So chin comes towards the chest, and peeling the spine back up from the floor as we go, nice and slowly, and then lengthening at the top. Sit tall, pelvic tilt, slowly place the spine down. If you need any assistance here, you can always grab the back of the thigh, bring the head down. Try not to let the ribs pop up at the bottom. Exhale. If you need to, just use the hands to guide you up, and then lengthen through the spine at the top. Let's do 2 more of these. Tilt and roll. Really control it. Almost see if you can count the vertebrae down. Lovely. Bring those arms behind the head. They look really good. Nice and late. And then bring the arms back up. Chin comes towards the chest. Peeling the spine back up from the mat. Last one. So crown of the head towards the ceiling at the top. Inhale, breath. Exhale, tilt. And peel. Arms come behind. Exhale as we come back up. Nice exhale through the mouth, like we're blowing out a birthday candle. We're going to work the obliques a little bit now. So we're going to reach the arm round to the back corner of the mat and just reach the hand as far as we can away from you. And then come back to centre, bringing the arm back level with the shoulder. We're going to go with the other side now. So twist and reach. See if you can touch the back corner of the mat, and then come back up and back through to centre. So just nicely waking up the spine, waking up the core, reach, lovely, and bring it back. Let's go for 2 more on each side. And the last ones. And last one. Lengthen at the centre, exhale, twist and reach. And then coming back to centre, we can straighten through the legs if you like. We're going to roll it down to stay down now. So inhale, breath, exhale, pelvic tilt. Nice and slow, nice and controlled. Placing the spine down. Lovely, well done. Taking it out into a full body stretch at the bottom. So lengthen out through the arms, lengthen out through the legs. Imagine somebody's pulling their hands and feet in different directions. Slightly arch through the spine there, get a nice stretch into the abdominals. Have a circle of wrists and ankles as well there. And then bringing the arms down to the side, bringing the feet up onto the floor. We're just going to do some abdominal prep now. So again, tuck that tailbone under and imprint the spine down into the mat. So we're going to slide the ribs a little bit closer towards the hips, pushing the back down to the floor. We're going to bring the hands behind the head, interlinking the fingers, just to support the weight of the head. So elbows are out nice and wide. We're not going to pull up on the neck. Take an inhale breath as we bring the chin towards the chest and just let the head fall into the hands. We're going to take an inhale breath here. We're going to exhale. We're going to come up a little bit higher, keeping those elbows out nice and wide, and then lower down an inch. Exhale it up an inch. Inhale, lower it down an inch. Just coming up and down, working those abdominals. So breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth on the work. Just allowing the head to fall into the hands. Let's go for a few more. Can't talk when I'm doing this. 2. And last one, down an inch, up an inch, and then coming all the way down onto the floor. Well done. We're going to bring the legs now up into tabletop position. So one leg at a time. into tabletop position, keeping that lower back imprinted down into the floor. Take an inhale breath. As we exhale, we're going to bring the head and shoulders up from the mat, and we're going to work level 1 scissors. So we're going to lower and tap the toe, coming back up. If it's too much on the neck, you can bring the head all the way down to the floor if you like. Tap and back. Tap. Just keep it going, one leg than the other. So that's level 1. Quite hard for level 1, isn't it? But bring the head down if you need to. Level 2, we're going to do double toe tap. So inhale as we go down, and exhale as we bring those legs back up into tabletop position. So inhaling down, making sure that spine doesn't leave the floor. Perfect. Lovely. Keeping that bend in the knees. Try not to fold the knees. Let's go for 4 more. Inhale, lower. Exhale it up. 1. Keeping that lower back down. 2. 3. Last one. Exhale. 4. Well done. Bring the head down. Hug the knees in. Have a little roll around there on the lower back. Next exercise we're going to work is crisscross. So we're going to work across the waist. If you've got a ball handy, if you haven't, don't worry, we can pretend that we've got one. So bringing the feet back down to the floor, making sure that spine's still in imprint. So lower, pushing the back down into the mat. We're going to bring the ball between the hands. If you haven't got one, just pretend the ball's in between the hands. So anchor the shoulders down, and then bring the legs back up into tabletop position, one at a time. We're going to inhale as the ball comes behind the head, keeping the spine down, and as we exhale, we're coming up with the head and shoulders and reaching to one side of the legs. Almost try to reach level with the feet. Inhale back to center, ball comes behind. Exhale, lift, reach, aim for level with the feet, and then inhale it back down again. Just keep it going. You can use a cushion now. See someone's got a cushion, that's a good idea. Probably a bit heavier than a ball though, making it quite hard. I think it's Jill. Is it? Can't see. Inhale it back, so she's more than capable. Keep it going, one side then the other. If you want to make it a little bit harder, we can lengthen through the legs as we bring the ball behind the head, as long as we're keeping that spine down. So double leg stretch as well. Let's go for 2 more on each side. And last one, inhale, lengthen, exhale, bring it back. That's it, well done. Bring the head and shoulders down, bring the feet down, you can pop the ball down to one side. So feet are in line with the hips here. Keeping the hips down on the floor, just roll the knees over in one direction. You should feel a really nice stretch down one side of the abdominals there. Really lengthen through the side of the waist. And then roll the knees back through the center and down to the other side. And then back to center again. Let's do 1 roll up to get up into seated. So bringing the arms level with the shoulders, palms facing, anchor the shoulders down into the floor. Inhale breath as we exhale, bring the chin towards the chest and start to peel the spine up from the mat. Sit nice and tall. At the top, we're going to spine stretch now. So bringing the arms parallel with the legs, folding backwards with the waist and reaching forwards with the arms. So getting a really nice C curve into the spine, really part the shoulder blades there as well. That's it. Take an inhale breath, exhale, so we can reach a little bit further. Inhale breath, exhale. See if you can reach a little bit further than you thought you might be able to go. Inhale, exhale it again. Reach, reach, reach. And then relax. Well done. We're then going to turn onto our side. and work glutes. So we're going to work clam today, nice old-fashioned clam. So coming down onto the side, bringing the head onto the hand or the arm, whichever you find most comfortable. So we've got a nice bend in the knee there. Feet are in line with the bottom. So again, we're going to push this hip away from this top hip. We're pushing that hip away from us. So we're slightly lifting up through the waist there. So imagine you've got a piece of Lego underneath the waist. We don't want to be falling down onto the Lego. So keep that waist lifted. We're going to push, like draw the heels together for this one, just to help use the adductors inside of the thigh. So keeping those hips stacked, keeping those heels pushed together. We're rotating, squeezing as high as we can without coming out of that square hip. So both hips should be facing the front, stacked one on top of the other. So lifting as high as we can go without rolling on the hips. That's it, perfect. Exhale it up, lovely, Kate. Squeeze those heels together. Also helps to engage through the pelvic floor that as well. So nice and slow, nice and controlled. Keep it going. So this isn't just lifting and lowering, so it's a ball and socket joint. So we're externally rotating that leg out. And then inhale as we control it back together again. Let's go for a few more of these. Rotate, so again, keep it nice and high without rolling on those hips. Let's go for 3 more. 1. Making sure that waist still lifted. We've not fallen down on that piece of Lego. 2. And last one, we're going to hold the hip open. So we've externally rotated the leg as much as we can. Heels are still pressed together. We're now going to extend that top leg. So keeping the thigh in this position, so there's no movement here. We're just going to lengthen through. So you don't have to really point the toes here, because that sometimes can give you cramp, but just really lengthen out through the leg there. Engaging through the quad, and then bringing the heels back together again. Let's keep it going. Try not to let that waist sink. Bring the heels back. Perfect. So the leg's still in that external rotation, so the kneecaps facing almost up towards the ceiling. Let's go for 3 more of these. 1. Lovely. 2. You start to feel this in the glutes now. Pop your hands on the bottom, you can feel that glute working. And 3. We're going to lengthen, we're going to stay. We're going to see if we can turn that knee a little bit more up towards the ceiling. We're going to hold it there. See if you can turn it a little bit more. We're going to hold it for 3, 2, I'm shaking, and 1. Bring the heels back together and bring the knees back together. Give that bottom a little bit of a rub. So that was a bit of external rotation. Now we are going to lift and lower. So I'm going to ask if you can come up onto the knees. So coming up onto both knees, we're going to work the same leg. So we're going to come down to the hands. So the hands in line with the knee. And then we're going to bring that left leg. Oh, it might not be your left leg. I didn't tell you which side to do. So wrists underneath the shoulder, just for support there. Toes touching the floor. Oh, I've got cramp now. So we're going to exhale as we lift the leg as high as we can, keeping the hips facing the front. Inhale. We're going to touch the floor with the toes. Exhale it back up again. Let's just keep that going. That's it. Try not to lean forward. Keep the shoulders facing me. Keep the hips facing me. Try not to turn into the mat. That's it. Just lifting and lowering. So now we are just working abductors. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Let's go for 3 more. 3, 2, and last one, we're going to hold the leg up as high as we can and bend through the knee, keeping the thigh, and lengthen. Bend and lengthen. Let's go for 4 more of these. 4, nearly there. 3, 2, And last one, lengthen, bring the toe back down, bring the knee back underneath the hip, have a little sit back into the heels there. We'll do some nice glute stretching at the end. Have a circle of the wrists there as well, if it's a bit hard on the wrists. And then we're going to come into seated before we work the other side. That's fine. So sit however you feel most comfortable for this one. If it's cross-legged, switch the legs over so it's not your natural side, just to make everything a bit more even. We're going to work a cactus exercise now. So we're going to bring the elbows in line with the shoulders, making sure the shoulders are down and back away from the ears. There's a 90-degree angle in the elbow. So just check that the elbows are roughly in line with the shoulders there. And then again, crown of the head towards the ceiling. So still working the spine, keeping the spine nice and upright. And then we're just going to bring the arms down, rotating through the shoulder joint. And then exhale as we come back up. That's it. So this exercise always starts off feeling okay. Just really working those shoulders. Perfect. Almost see if you can get the forearms level with the body. Full range of movement out the shoulders there. Lovely. Let's keep it going. Should feel a nice little stretch across the chest on this one as well. Let's go for 3 more of these. 1. 2. And 3. We're then going to keep the elbows in line with the body and reach up towards the ceiling, nice and tall with the spine. Inhale, bring the elbows back level with the shoulders. Just working those arms. Exhale, lift, reach. Inhale, bring the elbows back. That's it. That looks really nice. Keep it, reach. Keep that spine nice and straight as well there. Let's go for 4 more. Lovely. 3. Nice on there. Keeping the elbow in line with the body. 2. So almost imagine we've got our back to a wall and we're keeping the arm against the wall all the time. And the last one, bringing the elbows level with the shoulders again, keeping that 90-degree bend. We're then going to come forward, bringing the hands and elbows as close together as we can, and then bring it back out again. Exhale, elbows and hands. Don't worry if the elbows don't meet, that's also fine. Let's go for 4 more of these. 1, 2, nice max. 3. My kids are never interested in doing Pilates. And 4. Bring the elbows back level with the shoulders and relax the arms down. Give the shoulders a little bit of a shake off, the arms a bit of a shake. Well done. And then we're going to work the other side of the glutes. I'm trying to work out which way around I need to do. Sorry, a bit of thinking about. So coming down into that nice side lying position, head relaxed down onto the hand or the arm, whichever you find most comfortable. The feet nicely tucked in, level with the bottom. Again, we're going to push that hip away, so lifting up through the, so there should be a bit of daylight there between the waist and the mat. Heels, we're going to stay squeezed together for this one. And we're going to exhale as we open up the hip, externally rotating as much as we can without rolling back on the hip. Inhale as we lower the knees back together again. Exhale, lift, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Inhale, roll it down. So if you imagine the hip joint is a bit like a pestle and mortar, we really grind, sounds awful, but grind that leg up as much as we can. Inhale as we lower back down. Keeping the waist lifted, keeping that core switched on as well there. Keep those heels squeezed together as well. It helps to engage with the pelvic floor there and the insides of the thighs. Lovely. Let's go for 4 more of these. 4, 3, 2, and then on this next one, we're going to rotate that leg as far as we can without rolling back on the hips, keeping in this position so thigh stays where it is and then extends through the leg. So engage through the quad. You don't have to reach with the toe though, because it can cause the cramp there. So reach and return. So you should start to feel that in the bottom now. Think of those buns of steel. Let's go for 4 more. Heel tap and lengthen. Last 3. 1, 2, really strengthening these glutes. And last one, we're going to stay lengthened. We're going to hold, see if you can turn that knee a little bit more up towards the ceiling, really feel that in the bottom. See if you can turn it a little bit more. 3, 2, 1, bring the heels back together, bring the knees back together. Well done. Give the bottom a good old rub or a pat, whatever you need to do. And then we're going to work the leg raise. So if it's too much for you on the wrist, you can do it from lying down, just lifting and lowering. Still working the same muscle, but making it a little bit harder. So coming up onto the knees, staying square to the front. So imagine we're sandwiched between 2 walls there, bringing a wrist underneath the shoulder, extending the leg away. So stay nice and open with the shoulders and the hip. Inhale, breath. We'll exhale, lift the leg as high as you can. And then inhale, just kissing the floor with the toe. So don't pop the toe, don't use it as a rest. Tap and straight back up. If it's too much on the shoulder or the wrist there, you can lie down on the side. Still working the glute. Let's go for a few more. Forgot which side you're doing, Bex. Let's go for 3. Lift as high as you can. 2. And 1. Last one, we're going to stay up, bend, and lengthen. Bend and lengthen. Last 3 of these. 1, 2, nearly there. And lengthen. 3, bring the toe back down, bring the knee underneath the hip, sit back down into shell pose again, so just bring the hands level with the feet, forehead onto the mat, lengthen those glutes back out again. And then we're going to come down onto our backs again, but let's roll down so we're in that nice imprint position. So feet level with the hips, arms out, level with the shoulders. Inhale, breath. Exhale. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Place the spine down into imprint. So we're placing the vertebrae one at a time. We're going to stop when the arms are vertical. So we're going to anchor the shoulders down, keeping that imprint. So really engage through the core there. And then the legs are going to come up into tabletop position. One at a time. Zipping the knees and feet together, we're then going to bring the arms out level with the shoulders and go straight into spine twist. So we're going to inhale as the knees come over to one side, so keeping both shoulder blades down on the floor there. And then exhale as we squeeze through the center and down to the other side. So working across the waist here. Keeping the shoulder blades down, so the rotation's coming from the lower back. That's it, lovely. If you want to make this a little bit harder, or midway, we can lengthen out through the right leg as we come down to the left side. Switching in the center, obviously, so the left leg raise as we come down to the right side. If you want to make this harder again, coming back to center, both legs, inhaling as we lower, and really exhale and drive through, and really engage through the core, driving those legs through and over. Just keep that going. Really good waist exercise, this one. Lovely. Let's do a couple more to each side. Inhale it down, exhale on the work as we really engage through the core. Lovely, Kate. Perfect. The last ones, one more to each side. And last one. And then exhale as we come back to center. We're going to take it straight into the 100 now. So we're back into tabletop with the knees, spine still imprinted. We're going to bring the arms down to the side, so really widen out through the collarbones. Inhale, breath, bring the chin towards the chest. Exhale, lift up through the shoulders. So we're starting at level 2 and pulse with the arms. So in for 5, out for 5. If this is too much on the neck, just lower the head back down to the floor. So nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. We're at 3. Level 3 can lengthen out through the legs as well. In 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. Really sinking that lower back down. Lower the legs out to the floor here, the harder you're going to work the core. Keep the arms nice and strong. Just over halfway. We're at 9, last 10 pulses. In 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Well done. Bring the head and shoulders down, hug the knees into the chest. Have a little roll around on the lower back there. We're going to take it into scissors next. No, actually we're not. Let's give the core a little bit of a rest. Let's do a few shoulder bridges first. So heels directly underneath the knees, so they're slightly closer to the bottom than they normally would be. If you have got the ball with you, pop the ball in between the knees just to help engage that pelvic floor muscle and the inside of the legs. So again, spine's imprinted. Don't worry if you haven't got a ball though. Just try and keep the knees nice and still above the heels. So arms down by the side. Inhale, breath. As we exhale, we're going to tilt the pelvis and just slowly peel the spine up from the floor. Squeezing the glutes to the top, keeping that tailbone tucked under. Inhale, breath. As we exhale, we're going to bring the arms over as well. Take a nice deep breath in at the top. Nice strong bridge. Exhale, arms are going to come back over and the spine plays back down on the floor, one vertebrae at a time. So really control the spine down until the bottom touches the floor. Inhale, breath. Exhale again. Tilt and peel. Squeeze those hips up. So nice straight slope from the knee down to the shoulder. Inhale, breath. Exhale, bring the arms up and over. Deep breath in. Exhale. Arms come back over, spine places down, one vertebrae at a time. Control it all back to the floor. Inhale, breath. Exhale, tilt, peel, squeeze those hips up. Inhale, breath. Exhale, the arms over. We're going to stay up in bridge on this one. And we're going to pulse at the top. So we're just going to slightly release the glutes off and then squeeze the glutes up to the hips up towards the ceiling. So release and squeeze. Release and squeeze. Let's go for 6 more. 1, 2. Squeeze on the exhale breath. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Keep those hips up nice and high. Take a deep inhale. Through the nose, exhale, bringing the arms back over, placing the spine down, one vertebrae at a time. If you've got the ball, really keep a nice grip on that ball. You should really feel the inside of the leg working there. Last one. Inhale, breath. Exhale, tilt, peel that spine up. Squeeze those hips up nice and high. Inhale, breath. Exhale, the arms over. And then we're just going to dip one hip down. So just release off through one glute. So just dip one hip, then push back up towards the ceiling and then down to the other side. So like a ship rocking one side then the other. So it's a slight little bit of rotation going on there in the lower back again. Squeeze and release. Squeeze, release. One more on each side. And last one, squeezing both hips up towards the ceiling. Inhale, breath. Exhale, bring the arms back over. Place the spine back down. Control it all back down to the floor. Lovely, well done. And then just grabbing hold of the ball if you've got one. Hug the knees in and just have a little rock from side to side. You can widen out through the legs there if you like. It's been hard on the inside of the thighs. And we are. Let's finish off with single leg stretch and then we'll have a nice big stretch. So again, popping the feet back down to the floor, making sure tailbone's tucked under. If we've got the ball, we're going to keep hold of the ball, bringing the legs back up into tabletop position, lifting up through the shoulders, so nice and high, and then we're going to reach with one leg. We're going to feed the ball underneath that tabletop leg and then switch. So one leg than the other. So it's called single leg stretch. So really focus on the stretch there. Imagine somebody's pulling that leg away from you. Nice and slow, nice and controlled. Keep it going. Let's go for 4 more on each leg. 1, 2, 3, and last one, and 4. Nice, stretch, stretch, stretch. Bring the head and shoulders down, a little roll around on the back there. And then popping the ball down to the side, bringing the feet down onto the floor. We're going to bring the arms out to the side as well. They don't need to be level with the shoulders, but turn the palms up towards the ceiling. So just really open up the shoulder there. Stepping the feet to either side of the mat. Take an inhale breath. As we exhale, we're going to roll the knees in one direction, rolling the head away in the opposite direction. Try to get the knees as close to the floor as we can. So you should feel a nice stretch into the hip on that one as well. Deep breath. So really breathe into the bottom of the lungs, into the sides of the lungs. You should feel a nice stretch across the rib cage as well. And then just rolling the head and the knees back through the center, over to the other side. And then rolling back to center again. Just bringing the feet back onto the mat. I'm just going to stretch out the glutes now. So bringing the foot across the knee, popping the knee out to the side, and then we're just going to grab hold of the foot rather than the thigh here, so just easing the pressure off the hip flexor of the opposite leg. So we're just going to bring the foot towards you. And also for this one, if you actually arch up through the spine, you'll feel a bit of a deeper stretch into the glutes there. So rather than imprinting like I always tell you to do, just lift the spine up from the mat. You should feel a bit more of a stretch into the glute there. So arching up with the spine, I'm just going to hold it there. Grabbing hold of the foot, so it just eases the pressure off that hip flexor of the opposite leg. Keep the spine raised. And then slowly just bring that foot down to the floor. We're going to do the same on the other side. So foot back down to the mat. Bring the foot across the knee. That might be enough for some people, so just pushing that leg out to the side. Again, arching up through the spine if we can, just to lengthen the glutes. If not, just bringing that leg up into tabletop. And rather than grabbing hold of the thigh, grab hold of the foot. So just gently pull the foot towards you. Again, arching up through the spine there. And then just gently bringing the foot back down and popping the other foot back down. We're then going to roll up into seated. So just bringing the arms up towards the ceiling, palms facing, anchoring the shoulders. Take an inhale breath to prepare as we exhale. We're going to bring the chin towards the chest and just slowly peel the spine up. Nice and slowly, last roll up. Reaching it nice and tall at the top. We're then going to widen out through the legs and just lead with the chest as we just lower the spine down. Reaching the hands as far forward as we can. Like I did with you last week on that modified saw, if that feels too much for you, you can pop a little bit of a bend into the knee there, reaching forwards. If it just helps you reach out a little bit more. So you can lift the knees up from the floor there, or sit on a cushion. Just wanting to feel that stretch in the inside of the thighs there. And then just gently walk the hands back towards you, rolling that spine back up again. Then we're going to bring the legs out to the front, bringing the feet up onto the mat so they're in line with the hip bones. I'm going to place the right hand behind the body, fingers pointing backwards. I don't think you can see, can you? So we're going to try and keep the spine nice and upright for this one. Reaching up towards the ceiling with the left arm, we're then going to bring the left arm down to the outside of the right knee. And then we're going to rotate. So we're going to turn backwards. So we're going to use the elbow there just to help rotate the spine a little bit more. So looking over the shoulder, keeping that spine nice and lengthened there. And then we're going to come back to centre again. We do the same on the other side. So popping that left hand behind you, fingers pointing backwards. Reach it nice and tall first. So reach up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to bring the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. And then turning the head to look over that shoulder. Using the elbow just to help with that rotation, but keep the spine tall. Take an inhale breath, exhale, see if we can go a little bit further. And then we're going to bring it back to centre again. Then coming down to our fronts, we're just going to stretch down those abdominals, the nice cobra stretch. So for this one, I like to bring the feet out nice and wide, help to relax the bottoms, just like the heels fall in. And hands underneath the shoulders. Index fingers pointing forwards, shoulders down and back. Take an inhale breath. As we exhale, we're going to push the floor away. Consciously try to relax the bottom, keep the hips down until we feel a really nice stretch down the front of the body. Again, try not to tense the glutes because it can just pinch the lower back a little bit. Nice deep breaths. And then we're going to just lower it down a little bit. And then we're going to push up onto the knees. Watch that lower back, so really brace the core. And then we're going to sit back in between the heels this time, and just lower that upper body down into the floor. Bring that chest all the way down. And then from here, just lift up through the left shoulder. Have a little glimpse underneath the left arm there, pushing that right shoulder down into the floor. So getting a really nice stretch into the shoulder. And then coming back to center, both shoulders down. Then we're going to lift up through the right shoulders, have a little look under the right arm, pushing the left shoulder down into the floor. And then coming back down. And we're going to fold it up onto all fours now. So bringing the shoulders in over the wrists, knees in, underneath the hips. I've forgotten what everything's called. So we're going to take it into our cat stretch now. So take an inhale breath. As we exhale, bring the chin towards the chest and just really push up into the spine, tucking that tailbone under as well. So feeling the stretch all the way down to the lower back too. Deep breaths. And then we're going to just come back through neutral and just start to squeeze the shoulder blades together, really stick out the bottom. Just probably look about 1 meter in front of you, so we're not throwing the head back. So the neck stays in line with the spine. And then we're going to come back up into our cat stretch again, so back through neutral, keep the elbows soft, and scoot the tummy button up towards the spine, really part the shoulder blades there. And then exhale it back down again. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, really stick out the bottom. Lovely. And then returning back to neutral. So lengthen through the spine there. Turning the toes underneath now. We're going to come up off the knees. So take an inhale breath, exhale. Coming up off the knees, keeping the knees really nice and soft. In fact, bent almost. We're going to roll the heel back towards the floor, keeping the knees nice and bent. Push the floor away so you feel a really nice stretch into the calf there, into the mid-back. So really lengthen through the spine here. Taking some nice deep breaths. And then just start to walk the hands back towards the feet. Transfer the weight back to the feet again. And now we can lengthen out through the legs. So hopefully the hand should be a little bit close to the floor. You've got more of the hand on the floor than you did at the beginning. Just bring the hands again to the back of the head, and we're just going to just use the weight of the arms just to pull down on the head. Couple of focused breaths. And then relax the arms down. Just let the arms flop. Soften through the knees again, take an inhale breath, and as we exhale, we're going to slowly start to rebuild the spine, 1 vertebra at a time. So just coming up, scooping the tummy button up, pushing into the back, rolling slowly, back up and out. And then when we reach the top again, some really big shoulder rolls there. And then just pop the shoulders down and back. Well done, everybody.